wonderful.
I am wonderful.
I am confident.
I am confident.
And I am excellent.
I am excellent.
I am number one.
I am number one.
And I am tier one.
I am tier one.
I am number one.
I am number one.
And I am tier one.
I am tier one.
Okay? So saying it, believing it, and living it, understand what you thinking, what's in your mind is what's going to physically manifest. If you telling yourself, I'm nothing and nobody, I can't do, it's going to manifest in your test scores, Powell school, and every other area. If you believing, I'm amazing, I can do whatever, I'm excellent, that's going to manifest too. You're going to be going to the honor roll ceremonies. You're going to be looking at Powell school and you're going to be excited with your grades. You're going to be promoted. So it's not just for, and we say this every day, and you all, some of you say it and some of you don't, but those who really believe it and really feel it, you can understand why you're saying it, because sometimes you have to be your own source of inspiration, okay? All right, but anyway, so with that being said, we did already, and then we're going to do our park review. So what we did yesterday or the day before, we had this right here, so everybody got this. And so I want to kind of review this again, standard one and step one. So in order for us to become better readers, us understanding the standards that we have to master so that that's demonstrated in every area of our work, okay? So can somebody read the one that says standard one is step one? What do you need to be able to do? All right, Jordan, thank you.
You can't reach another standard without it, but it is not a separate activity. Students read closely/carefully to figure out the text, so standard one connects with each other's standard. Every question or park requires standard one plus another standard, and all require students to demonstrate that they're on the way to standard 10, proficient reading.
Okay, proficient reading means I'm able to do it on my own. So with standard one, what are we supposed to be able to do?
Understand what happened.
Understand on your own, but how are you doing that?
Reading.
You're reading, but what does standard one say that you should be able to do?
Read.
And up here on the board, it's right here on the board. Cite textual evidence. What is the importance of having evidence?
To support your claim.
To support your claim, okay? So in real life, if I had to go to court, I need evidence to help me do what? Support my claim. In reading, I need evidence to be able to support my claim, right? So the idea to show somebody that I'm able to read, that I really understand, is that once I'm finished sounding out the letters, sounding out the alphabet, sounding out the words, reading through the sentences, I'm going to then summarize, and I'm going to include in my summary what? What do you need in there? Evidence, okay? And that evidence shows that person what? That you read. That's it, okay? All right, so moving on the back, standard 2, determine central ideas or themes of a text and analyze their development, summarize the key supporting details. So once I've gathered all of my textual evidence, I should be able to move to standard 2, which is being able to determine the what? Central idea, okay? And then that central idea is basically central idea / main idea is the reason the author decided to put those words together. So now I got 1 and 2, and then it says number 1, it's going to be matched with all the rest of the standards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 9. So once I got textual evidence and central idea, this right here demonstrates or is a collaboration of all of this. So in my writing, I'm showing that person I've mastered the material. Okay, so a lot of times when I'm saying to you all, can you read, and you throwing your hand up, if you're not saying, if you can't summarize and have a cohesive response, then you're not demonstrating mastery of whatever that particular lesson is. All right, so with that being said, you can keep that out and put that keep it out, but put it to the side. But which brings us to our module 2, lesson 2, which we've been looking at, All Is Quiet on the Western Front, which is our novel. But first we had to review these handout 1A and then handout 1B, the Peace President Goes to War, and then the War to End All Wars. So the first thing we had to do was to read, and no, first of all, what are the 3 steps to annotation?
Read. Summarize.
Read, highlight,
There you go. Read, highlight, and summarize. All right, so we've already done that. So we took this, and so yours should look like this, marked up. Well, she got it underlined, but instead of highlight. But anyway, she got her summaries here. So we've done all that. We got our evidence. She could determine the central idea, which moves us on to this, okay? So on the front, so what are our two standards that we're doubling back to again? What standards are we supposed to cover? Okay, science-textual evidence and central idea, and then we're supposed to be able to write a summary. So by the end of class, students will be able to utilize textual evidence to generate inferences about the text, determine the central/main idea of the text, and compose an objective summary of the text. So basically, in layman's term, breaking it all down, I should be able to peruse through all of that, pull something out, and put it together and tell you what I read about, okay? All right, so anyway, so right here on this paper, let's go to page 2. All right, everybody. Okay, so the focus in question at the top, based on what you read from before, it says, why did countries and individuals join World War I? So before you answer it, I'm going to give you an opportunity to peruse through your annotations. Okay, you have two passages, handout 1A and handout 1B, and then you may not even need to peruse through it because you may just remember what countries or why they joined. So I'm going to give you at least 10 seconds to kind of peruse through your documentation so you can respond to that first focusing question of the unit. Why did countries and individuals join World War I? Countries and individuals. So let's see if we can answer. First of all, somebody tell me, wait a minute, okay. When you are reading information, what are the 6 questions you want to answer? Who, what, when, where, why. Okay, so we have that. So that should be simple enough for you to go back in the text. And then the first part of the question is why did countries, what's the easiest way for you to find out the information about those countries? What can you zero in on in that passage? If I want to know why did countries join, what is a key word I could look for in the passage? The countries. Very good. That's it. I want to know why did the countries, so I'm zeroing in on the names of countries, okay? Once I find those countries, then I can read all the information around it, the textual evidence around it to determine the why, okay? And then it says individuals. If I want to know about those individuals, what would I zero in on? The people or the names, okay? All right, so let's see if we can get the first part. Why did countries, first of all, tell me the country and why did they join? Just give me the name of the country and why did that country join World War I? All right, come on, Ariel.
I can read the
Yes. Read what? What are you reading? What is it called?
The sentence.
What is that called?
The sentence.
Based upon our standard, it's called what?
Miss Powell.
Okay, go ahead, Ariel.
Over the previous 10 years, Otto von Bismarck, Germany's Iron Chancellor, had united the Teutonic Germanic states by picking fights with other nations and using the conflicts to unify his people.
Okay. All right. So did she give me the country? Yeah. What was the country? Germany. Okay. So Germany was doing what? What was Germany doing?
Basically, bullying people.
Picking fights.
Picking fights. Okay. So why? Then let me backtrack real quick. So why do people have wars? That's the first thing. Why are they picking fights? Okay. Come on, Dreon.
To get territory or like land, or to get power
Okay.
and respect.
Okay. Very good. You want to add something to a dream?
Nah, he said it.
Okay, all right, very good. So they basically wanted to gain resources, okay? All right, so why did countries join? So she gave us at least one response. And then somebody tell me about an individual that joined the war, because you had 2 passages, 1A and 1B. Who is the individual and why did that individual decide to join? All right, come on, Dream, since you didn't get to answer the last one.
Woodrow Wilson.
Okay.
The United States, they joined because Germany.
Now, who was Woodrow Wilson? Was he just
The
a
president,
farmer?
the
Okay, all right.
He joined the war because the U-boat, which is Germany's weapon, they sunk U.S. ships.
Okay. Now, was that the reason that they joined, or was it something else that made them join?
They also had sympathy for the other states.
So, but I'm going back to my question, was the sinking of the ships the reason President Wilson decided to join the war? Okay, come on. Thank you, Dream. Was that it? I mean, because he could be right. I'm just making sure that you analyze that textual evidence, because I could just be trying to trick you now. Okay, but go back to the text and look and see. That's how I'm looking at the evidence to prove what I'm saying. He said 3 ships were sunk. Is that the reason President Wilson wanted to start the war? All right, come on, Ariel.
He said for nearly 3 years he struggled to keep the United States at peace, but that night he came to ask for war.
Okay. So did she prove his point?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I add on?
Okay, all right, come on, Cameron. Thank you, very good, Ariel.
It says Wilson declared his willingness to fight. He quote, and I quote, "We will not choose the path of submission and suffer the most sacred rights of our nation and our people to be ignored or violated."
Okay, so he says denouncing the German U-boat campaign. So here he is before Congress, and then he's saying, you know, I'm tired of it. The peace president goes to war. So just like Dream said his point, then she backed it up with the evidence. So that's the whole idea, because I was just trying to trip you up. But I wanted you to go back to that text and then be able to see how you could utilize that information. All right, so we got the individual, we got the country, so that's the focusing question. Then it says, what is happening in the 2 articles about World War I? So one is titled what? Handout 1A is titled what? The war to end all wars, and then handout 1B is titled what? The peace president. All right, so we got 2 articles. Let's compare them, okay? So how are they the same? All right. Master Ray.
Talk about war.
Okay, which war? A pizza war? What war?
World War I.
World War I. Okay, so that's how they're the same. But then let's contrast. So then how are they different? Because it says what is happening in 2 articles about World War I. So one is saying one thing and one is saying something else. All right, come on, Eric. You on hot today. Go ahead.
One is saying that Woodrow Wilson went to war, and then the other one is saying about the little countries and stuff, and why they went to war, and all about the alliances.
Is she right? Yeah. Okay, she is right. The war to end all wars was more so about the focus on the countries that ended up going to war, and then the peace president goes to war, as she said, was about Woodrow Wilson going to war. All right, so we got those questions answered. And then the last one says the craft question, which is the focus of the unit, which is connecting us back to our standard. I'm a great reader, so I understand why I have to master this, okay? This particular standard. Why is well-chosen evidence important? Applying it to school, yes, with your standards, but outside of the classroom. How can I connect this to the real world, okay? Why is well-chosen evidence important? Ms. Hudson. Why is well-chosen evidence important? Up this 3rd question right here.
Well-chosen evidence is important because if it's the wrong evidence, it's not going to support the point.
Okay, very good. So now let's just say, for example, let's personalize it. You, mommy, can I go to the movies this week with my friends? No. Well, okay. Now let me pull out my evidence. Mommy, I washed the dishes. I cleaned my room. I cut the grass. Okay. She said, "Oh, well, you did all of your chores. So now you should be able to do what? Go to the movies." Okay. So that evidence backed up whatever you were saying. It validated or supported whatever you were saying. So not only for literature, okay, but in your everyday life, you want to have some valid reasons or some valid evidence to support whatever it is that you're saying. All right, so now that we have that, so we looked at why do countries and individuals join World War I, what is happening in the 2 articles, we compared and contrasted that just a little bit. Why is well-chosen evidence important? So it says launch. Peruse through your annotations from both articles, the war to end all wars and the peace president goes to war. Select one event and compose your answer below on the graphic organizer. So what you're going to do is you, again, have to go back. If you are a very good annotator, like this young man is right here, okay, well, this young lady, okay, and so, and taking this skill to college and saying, because if you got to read 5 chapters in one night, the last thing you want to do is have to read through all of these words all over again. If you're a very good annotator, you can just say, I'm going to read through my one sentence. That okay, this chapter was about, let me read these 2 sentences, this chapter was about, let me read these 2 sentences, this chapter was about, and that eliminates you from having to go back. So only thing you need to do in order to answer that question is peruse through your annotations, and then you should be able to compose a answer that connects back to the text, okay? So you can collaborate with your peers, and then we'll come back together, let's just say, in about 5 to 6 minutes, because at that point, everybody should have a response. So it's 2 parts. It's the question, and then it says why underneath. Okay? Did you read it? Can somebody read the question? Okay, come on, Asia.
All right. What is one of the major events or the developments that caused a country to enter the conflict of World War I?
Okay, so now for those, some of you are going on to answer my fast finishes. These people kind of struggling. Okay, so there was a war. Why did these people join? Why did this country join? So what you have to do is peruse through your annotations, peruse back through the passage, and then extract that evidence that says, oh, this is why France joined World War I. Okay, or this is why Austria-Hungary joined World War I. Okay, does that help you understand better? Okay, all right. And do you have both passage? Okay, you got both. And you need a highlighter. Uh-huh. All right. There you go. And I just want to ask, in order for you, and this is kind of going back to that first question, what is the easiest thing for you to zero in on when you're trying to find this answer? Well, that could be it. You trying to answer those questions, who, what, where, how, but it's asking you a specific question, cause and country. So what could you zero in on your passage? Country. All right. And was it just one country?
No.
Okay. So you have 2 passages, then you can peruse through both of them to attempt to find that response.
So you can get it from either one.
Either one. Handout 1A or handout 1B. And you can collaborate with your peers, and even if they say a response, the whole idea is that you're going back into your passage and you're saying, you're looking at that evidence, and then you saying, no, well, right here, this is what it's showing, or this is what it's saying.
Germany did it.
All right, I'm seeing some great answers as I'm scanning through the crowd. Now, in this question, I'm going to ask you, that's a blanket. Who is the who? Who is the who? And you have to think of, when I'm getting information to people, God bless you, when people are telling me stories, do I just want to hear it, him, they, she? No, you specifics. You know, we are going to Florida. Well, who's going to Florida? Mommy, daddy, your little brother, and your sister. So who is the who? Be specific in your response. Now, what country? Because you have one event that calls, be specific. That was what I was just telling her about. She said people. But you just need, it says, and go back, and this is how we get our full points. What is one of the major events or developments that cause a country? So which country are you talking about? So write that down. Okay, so that's the one major event that caused the U.S. to enter the war was, okay? So be specific, because there were multiple countries. And what country is this? Because I see you have that common noun, but specific. What country is this that joined? Right here. That's what I want to know. Based on your text, what is this referring back to? So you can dig deep. Okay? Because they are very specific. They tell you the country, and then they tell you why they joined. So right here. So again, which country are you talking about? Let me read your response.
Me?
Uh-huh. So we're going to take one more minute and wrap it up. Read over this, because you're rushing through that. All right, anybody finished? Okay, I still see some people writing. And so when I'm looking at this, what is the specific reason? I see this right here, but, I mean, where's the evidence in that? I know this happened, but how did this happen? Okay, so they gave you specific details. All right, Dream, let me hear what you have, because you look like you finished. Write your final thought, and we're going to move on. Go ahead, son.
For the first question, I put the U.S. joined the World War I because Germany's U-boats sunk the U.S. boats. Thomas Woodrow Wilson didn't want to back down from Germany and be violated. For the second question, why countries and individuals joined World War I because Franz Ferdinand was killed by Serbian nationalists. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Soon after that, Russia followed behind Serbia. Thomas Woodrow Wilson joined World War I because Germany and its U-boats sunk the U.S. boats.
Okay, so you went all in. You pulled a bunch of evidence from everywhere and made you a nice gumbo of a response. So that's very good. He was very thorough. But let me ask you this. When you heard his response, does it sound like it came from the text? Yeah. Did everybody hear his response? That's first of all. Yeah. Okay, so did it sound like it came from the passage? Yeah. Okay, and so that's what I was saying. Like some people put countries, but what countries joined? So be specific. You have that evidence there. And that's what they want you, the correlation between what you're doing in class and then when you're going to take your assessments, that you being specific. That's how they know, hey, this person has read. They're using specific names of people, places, and things. Okay, they're being specific about the whys and about the hows. Okay?